Hello Bubble Babes, I'm Juicy Bubbles and welcome to my channel where I give my opinions on things that I care about, and if you don't like them, well, your mama stank anyway, so whatever. And if you coming back to see a girl, you already know you a real one, okay? Now, I do have a little bit of dental issues right now, so please overlook that because yeah, that's an issue. But moving on with the video, I'm so glad that you guys are here today. I wanted to talk about something that's a little heavy on the heart, but I think that it is important, and also it'll just give you guys kind of like more of a look into me and like how I think and like how I am, right? So I wanted to talk about how having abandonment issues have affected my life. When I was in therapy, abandonment issues is something that came up, and when that came up and I was able to put a label on what the problem was, so many other things made sense in my life. Like, one of the reasons why I actually went to therapy is because I just enjoy being self-aware and understanding why I react to different situations the way that I react to them. A few of the situations in which I felt abandoned, and if you guys feel like, you know, maybe I was being soft or, you know, that these should not have affected me in this way, feel free to feel that way, but I'm just telling you how these things affected me, okay? Growing up, I was 10 years younger than my sisters, 10 and 12 years younger. And then I do have some other brothers and sisters, but these two sisters were sisters that I actually lived with. So, yeah, they both got pregnant very young and they both left. And one of my sisters in particular, I was literally always with her. She was, I guess you would say, like a mother figure in my life. So we were very close, still very close to this day. My mother would literally tell her that she couldn't go places and do things if she didn't bring me. So I was always with her. So when she left, it was absolutely heartbreaking for me. And also, she left because she had her own problems and her own situations in her own life. And I understand, you know, now that I'm older, but as a kid, she left without saying bye, which was heartbreaking to me. Like, she just was gone one day and we couldn't get in contact with her, and it was a whole thing. And that was one thing that really affected me terribly. Another thing was my grandpa died. I was very close with my grandfather, and he died. I was about 8 or 9. Another thing was my mom and my daddy, they split. So going through that for me was very challenging and very hard when they broke up. And then another thing was the sister that was very close to me, not only did she move out, but eventually she went to Germany. So she just completely like moved, okay? And we'll talk about that a little bit later and about how that affected me later in the video. Well, let's get to talking about some of those issues. The first one being trust. I have an extremely hard time trusting anybody. I don't take anybody at their word. I may make assumptions about things, or about people, but I don't trust people, and especially people who are trying to get close to me. I do not trust easily. And for those who are in my circle, it's very hard for me to let down a wall, let down a layer, and just allow people to just come in and for me to tell you my business and things like that. It's just not in my nature, you know? Growing up, there were times where and this is not to down my parents or anybody in my family. These are just, like I said, things that affected me negatively. There were things that affected me positively as well, but These are just things that affected me negatively. But I can remember times where, like, let's just say, like, my mama, she would tell me, like I said, she would work all the time. She was always at work, always had 3 or 4 jobs, right? And there were times she would tell me, like, yeah, like, I'll try to make it to your game. Or, because I played volleyball, I was a cheerleader in, like, elementary school. Just any, like, little extracurricular activities that I had, she would always say, like, oh, yeah, like, I'll try to make it. And I would get so excited because I wanted to see mama. Like, I wanted that support, you know. I wanted to, you know, I mean, every kid, like, wants their parents to, like, come to their games and stuff, right? She would never come. Never came. And it was also, like, for me, like, a source of bonding that I longed for with my mama, because we never really spent time together, like, ever. So that was just, like, another way for me to, like, reach out and be like, hey, like, I want to spend time with you, like, I want to do stuff with you. And it just never happened. And so when she would never come, like, I would be let down every single time. And it's like, sometimes she wouldn't even be at work. Sometimes it would just be that she was off. And like, now that I'm an adult, I get it. Like, sometimes you just want to relax, like, when you get off work, especially when you work as much as she did. Sometimes you just want to work. Sometimes you just want to relax and hang out. That really affected me because I really wanted her support, and I was really hungry for her support, and I just didn't feel that at that time. So it's just like things like that add up. Little things like that add up to big things where I can't take someone at their word, if that makes sense. And it's like, even at that, even when someone has kind of proven themselves to be trustworthy, it's like I still have my eye on you. Like, I'm still watching you, okay? I'm watching you. Like, the trust is just never 100% ever. Like, I never put anything past anyone. That's why a lot of times things don't surprise me. So, yeah, there's that. And I guess going on more along the lines of, like, abandonment, I'm always ready for somebody to leave my life. Like, if somebody, say, doesn't want to be friends anymore, or if someone dies, or if someone is, I'm not saying that it won't hurt me, but at the same time, like, I've already mentally prepared myself. Like, I don't like being caught off guard. I guess that's another thing that abandonment issues, I mean, nobody likes being caught off guard, but I really don't like being caught off guard, especially with, you know, things like this. So I'm always ready for somebody to leave. Like, if somebody wants to leave my life for something stupid, if we get in, like, a dumb argument or something, and somebody wants to go, I'm like, okay, bye. Like, I just have this, like, innate thing in me that's like, I don't need you. Like, if you want to leave, then bye, like, go. And I'm gonna just keep going. And I don't necessarily know if that's, like, good or bad, but it's just one of the ways that this has, like, definitely affected me. So of course, like, with my daddy leaving, not necessarily, he didn't leave my life, like, 100%, but he just stopped coming around as much. Like, I would literally not see him for months at a time. So I stopped being sad about it, and I was just like, okay, like, if you want to come pick me up, great. If not, that's fine too. Like, I have a life. Like, I'm not sitting around waiting on someone to come and make me happy. I'm not gonna sit around and, you know, get all excited and giddy because you're coming. Like, okay, great, you're coming. Like, we'll have fun when I see you. If you're not, whatever, right? Isolation. So I think some of this is I'll isolate myself because I was basically an only child. Like I said, I did have sisters and brothers, but I was the youngest by like 10 plus years. So you know, I was basically an only child. Like once my sisters, they left the house so early that it was just me. So I basically say I'm like an only child. So I also think it's because I just don't want to rely on someone else fully. You know, just in case they leave. Because what if I put all my eggs in one basket and I've given this person, you know, full access to me and access to whatever it is that we have going on, and they just dip out? Because people do that. People still do that. I mean, my parents and people in my family are not the only people who have done that to me. So, I mean, people will just like literally get up and dip out on you. So I can never fully relinquish, you know, whatever I have going on to someone. So I'll isolate myself, and sometimes I'll rely on myself a lot of times to do something. I'll put like so much pressure on myself because I don't want to give a responsibility to someone else and then they let me down. It's been a huge problem in my life because it leads to me not being able to ask for help when I need help. I'm better about it now, but I used to not be so good about it. But the thought process behind that is, if I relinquish this project or this whatever I have to someone else and they mess up, it's gonna hurt me 10 times harder than if I mess myself up, because I gave somebody that control to go and do whatever with this thing that involves me, and now I look stupid because of something else that somebody else did. Now if I make myself look stupid, then I made myself look stupid. But if they make me look stupid, then I'm gonna want to fight. Okay? Like, no, you're not gonna make me look stupid. I'm gonna make myself look stupid. That's kind of like the isolation thing. So I'll just like draw into myself, and then also like I isolate myself and my feelings when it comes to just anything like depression, or like if I'm just going through something like mentally and I'm just trying to think something out myself. I won't share it with anybody. I'll just kind of like keep it to myself. And I don't know, I guess, you know, just being a little kid and not really having anybody else to talk to about things that I'm going through. So yeah, moving on. But that kind of rolls me into control issues. So I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a control freak. Not necessarily a control freak, but there's only so much control that I will give someone over me. So, for example, if I am visiting somewhere, I will not, and I mean will not, go stay at somebody's house or sleep over at somebody's house or anything like that unless I have I have to really, really trust you. I have to really feel comfortable at this person's house, because if not, then I'm not going. I'm just not. I'm just not. In a lot of the situations where I felt abandoned as a kid, I felt like I had no control. Like there was nothing that I could do. Like my grandpa dying. My grandpa died. Like he was old. He died of natural causes. Like there's literally nothing that I could have done about that, you know. And I know it's kind of silly, like, you know, it's like your grandpa died, like he didn't abandon you, but as a kid, like I felt like, you know, that was my grandpa, like I loved him, like, you know, that to me felt like abandonment, you know. My sister leaving without saying bye, I feel like that one, out of mostly everything, affected me the worst. My sister leaving without saying goodbye, like that really, really, I think that one was like the one that gave me like the most anxiety around like this whole situation, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I get it now. But even with that, there was nothing that I could have done. Yeah, I mean, she left, So call it a survival mechanism or whatever, but I can't fully ever just relinquish that control to anyone, and I will never. I can't. I just can't. It's just not in me, okay? And with that being said, I always have a backup plan. Always have a backup plan. When I'm in a situation where I'm giving up my control, I'm in somebody's house or I'm in a new place, something that's like unfamiliar territory, I always have a backup plan. Whether I speak it or not, whether anybody else knows it or not, it's here. It's in here, and I've already prepared. I've already made phone calls, like who's close, who do I know that's close, do I have extra money in my suitcase just in case I need a plane ticket or a taxi ride or to get some food or something. It's just, I always have a backup plan on how to get out of a situation, because I never want to be somewhere where I'm just in a situation and then there's nothing that I can do about it. Like, that's just not my thing, right? Okay, so this is a big one. I know we just talked about control a lot, but I can never truly allow myself to be happy, like happy and content with the situation. It's not that, this is something that therapy really, really helped me with, because even when I have everything that I want and everything is like going good, I just never feel, it's not that I'm looking for something to complain about, I just never feel okay. Like, it's like I always feel like something's coming. Like, I'm happy now, but I can't let myself get too happy, because if I let myself get too happy, then something's gonna happen and burst my bubble, and then I'm gonna be sitting there looking stupid and sad. Isn't that sad? Like, to not be able to allow yourself to be happy even when you're happy, it's like I'm always waiting on the other shoe to drop. You know what I'm saying? Like, almost like if I allow myself to be happy, then something bad happens. Like, in my young mind, it's like happiness equals bad stuff. So if I'm happy, then bad stuff is gonna happen, right? And I don't want the bad stuff, so I can't really be happy fully. Like, I know that really doesn't make sense, but like in my young mind and in my like, psychologicalness, I can't think of the word, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like in here in the noggin, that's kind of just how I guess my brain formulated that. And I brought that kind of into my adulthood, and so that's something that I'm kind of working on. Like, just be happy, like just enjoy things. But it's so hard because it's like, for me, I felt like even though my parents' relationship wasn't like 100%, I was happy having them together, and then happy having them together, and then they split, and just when I was satisfied and happy and okay with my sister, she had moved out and she, had started her family. We were back in contact with her, and she was having more kids, and I was going over to her house like every weekend. I was spending summers with her, and I would have so much fun at her house. I mean, it was literally the like highlight of my life to be back with my sister and going to her house and watching her kids and just having that family unit back into my life. And then all of a sudden she just up and left and went to Germany, and I was just like, really? Germany? like, I just got you back though. Like we just reunited. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that move like really took it really took a lot out of me. So me being happy, so my happiness has really been affected, you know, just, and that's not the only thing, but I'm just using, you know, certain things as examples. But you know, that one did definitely take a lot out of me. But equating my happiness with, you know, bad things happening, like I'm always waiting on that shoe to drop. Always waiting on that shoe to drop. It's something, you know, we gonna get it together. So and then the last one would be pridefulness. Okay. Pridefulness. So a lot of times I will act like I'm okay when I'm really not. Typical woman, I think, right? I think women do this. But yeah. The reason for this is I was thinking about, like, why am I so prideful? Like, when it comes to my emotions and like how I'm feeling about things, like, why do I gatekeep, you know, some of my emotions and stuff? But like, one example that I could think of was my mama. Like, when I was growing up, like I said, she worked a lot, right? And I was always like wanting time with my mama. Like, I always just wanted time with her. I just wanted to be under her and like hang out with her and, you know, all of those things until I turned a teenager. But, you know, to a certain point, I just wanted to be around my mama, right? But she just never had time for me. She would say sayings like,
well, nobody wants to be around somebody who's depressed all the time, or nobody wants to be around somebody who is pouty all the time, or, you know, who has a bad attitude,
or anything like that. Somebody who's sad all the time, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure we've heard our parents say like some of these things, and they're not meaning it towards us necessarily, like they're just talking, right? But in her saying those things, I took it to mean, okay, so if I'm happy, then that should make you want to be around me, right? So instead of acting depressed, or instead of acting like something's wrong, I'm gonna act happy, and I'm going to hide all of those emotions of sadness and grief and all of that, so that you'll want to be around me. Makes sense, right? Because nobody wants to be around somebody who's sad, so I'm gonna just act happy. And so I learned how to hide my emotions, hoping that, you know, she would be like, oh yes, come on, like, you're a happy child. Like, who wouldn't want to be around a happy child? But that didn't work. Sadly, that did not work. And that's not to say that my mama never spent time with me. I'm not saying that at all. But I just would have liked more time with her. Okay. But she was just working all the time. And now that I'm an adult, once again, I understand. But these are just the way my little mind, my little adolescent mind was, you know. I guess this is kind of like where petty Juji like kind of was born, because also there will be times, and this is why I say like pridefulness as well, because there will be times where, as much as I wanted to spend time with my mama, like, I don't know, like, I just wanted to put up this face of like, I'm okay and I'm gonna be okay. Like, whether I have you or whether I don't care. Like, I'm good. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be Gucci. Which is good to put up that face sometime, but it's like, not all the time. Like, you can't be like that all the time, right? It's like, in here, like, you can't be like, oh yeah, I'm strong, but you really ain't strong because this is what you want. You know what I mean? Like, anyways. But yeah, like, she would ask me like, hey, you want to go to the store with me? Like, you know, she's going grocery shopping or something, or like, hey, do you want to do, you know, just like little errands, like, you want to go run this errand with me? And I'd be like, no. And she didn't know it, but in my mind, I was in rebellious mode. Like, I was rebelling against her. I was like,
nope, you ain't want to hang out with me on your day off. So no, I don't want to go to the store with you.
In my mind, but of course I ain't say that. I was just like, no, I'm good. But it's like, girl, like, why do you do that? It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. Like I want my mama to hang out with me, but because you didn't hang out with me when I wanted you to hang out with me, now I'm upset at you. And now that you want to hang out with me, I'm gonna tell you no. So now we still ain't hanging out. So whether I wanted you to, or whether I didn't want, whether I wanted to hang out with you this time, or this time, like, we ain't hanging out at all. And like, this is just still how I am. Like, I still do this, and yeah, abandonment issues. It's abandonment issues, okay? But I don't know, like, these are the things that I'm working on, and these are the ways that having abandonment issues have affected me in my life. But I don't know, you guys, tell me, like, do you guys have abandonment issues? How bad are yours? Do you have ones worse than mine? Am I completely crazy? Am I in that job? Tell me what y'all think. Tell me, the things that y'all deal with. I would love to have a conversation with you guys about it. Also, make sure, if y'all are enjoying this content, I have so many other things like this, life updates and just story times about me. I can give you guys some story times about, just me being like abandoned and things like that if y'all want, over on my Patreon, which will be linked down below in my Linktree. My Linktree has my links to my Patreon, my Instagram, and just anything else that I'm on, any apps that I'm on. You guys feel free to download the apps that I live stream on and hang out with me there, because I do go live almost daily. Almost daily. Hit me up on Instagram if you ever want to know what time I'm going live or anything like that. I would be more than happy to tell you. And yeah, we can just chit chat. If you want to discuss anything that I said here, feel free to hit me up. If you have anything that you want me to talk about that I have not covered yet, feel free. I know today was kind of heavy, but this was something that I thought was important, and I just enjoy being real with y'all and kind of like letting y'all in a little bit, just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, okay? But yeah, I thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye. Oh wait, but before we go, y'all see how these curls popping though? Y'all see this? Hold on, y'all can't see this. This the side. Y'all see that? Y'all see these curls popping? Look at that. They so cute, huh? They so cute. Okay, sorry. All right. Now bye. See you later.